So welcome to the second sponsor lightning session of NASIG 2020. Today's speakers are Jennifer Maloney from Oxford University Press, Kristin Twardowski from Duke University Press, Lorna Vasica from American Institute of Physics, Christina Jutsi from Bloomsbury Digital Resources, Dan Asher and Rita Senna from Springer Nature, and Kristen Wilson from Index Data. Please refer to Sketch for more information about today's speakers. We're going to give them each about 6 minutes to speak, and then we'll run through any questions that we've accumulated at the very end of the session after all sponsors have presented. We'll be using the Zoom Q&A for questions during the session, and then also have a discussion forum set up for this session where you can post any questions that we'll be monitoring over the next few weeks. NASIG's Code of Conduct is still in effect for all discussions and presentations, and the links to these items are on the NASIG website. If you're tweeting, please keep using the hashtag NASIG 2020. And we would, of course, like to thank our sponsors this year for helping us make our online conference freely available. I'm really excited to hear from all the sponsors who are presenting today. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Jennifer at OUP.
Great, thank you, Megan, and thank you to everyone that works so diligently on the NASIG committees to make this conference possible. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Well, looks like I'm having a little technical difficulty. Give me one more second. Oh, and Megan, it looks like it's not allowing me to share. I don't know, is it better if you bring up my slides that I sent you, or would you like for me to go at the end? Which is better?
I can bring them up. I've got them right here. Let me first. Oh.
I really appreciate you doing this for me.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see it?
Great. Yes, okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome.
And thank you to NASIG for being so resilient and moving ahead with this conference. We are so proud to be a sponsor. My name is Jennifer Maloney, and I'm with Oxford University Press. I'm a consortium manager based in our bright and steamy North Carolina. At least that's the way it is for today. I'll go over today what's new and notable at Oxford University Press, including our COVID-19 information hub, our journal's current content and archive collections, new subjects in our Oxford Research Encyclopedias, and a new Clear Your Shelves offer to help if your library is looking to provide online access to your library's print collection. And next slide. If you are, great. And as a nonprofit university press, our mission is to ensure that high quality research is as widely circulated as possible in order to support education, research, and scholarship informing what we do every day. And certainly in these rapidly changing and uncertain times, having access to trusted content is even more urgent. I'm sharing the COVID-19 information hub that we have launched on the site, and it does include articles from our leading journals like European Heart Journal, Clinical Infectious Diseases, and Pathogens and Disease. A couple of the most recent articles, like one published today from American Journal of Clinical Pathology, the article is Linking Statistics with Testing Policy to Manage COVID-19 in the Community. And then in our Social Sciences Journal, Review of Finance, an article called What are the Effects of Economic Downturns and How Can We Respond to Them? And the next slide. We have our journals collections are divided into two parts. Our current content, which is 357 high quality journals with access to research from 1996 to present. Over 70% of our journals are published with the most influential and international societies. And we're launching 14 new journals for 2021. And our journal's archive is content going back to 1791, 248 high quality journals that you can explore the foundations of scholarship all the way 1791 to 1995. Our archive content is sold as perpetual access by the collection and by the title, as well as the subscription. And we even have a brand new EBA model for our journals archive as well. And the next slide. For 2021, we are proud to be launching 14 new titles and starting society partnerships with some new societies, including the Royal Society of Chemistry, which is launching the title Metallomics, includes high quality research with a focus and relevance to food and chemical industries. And the Royal Pharmaceutical Society with the title Journal of Pharmacy and Pharmacology, a leading pharmaceutical sciences journal established in 1870. And in the humanities, we have the Journal of Aesthetics and Art Criticism, which is published on behalf of the American Society of Aesthetics and has current research articles in aesthetics and the philosophy of art. And then I also wanted to announce that our popular and notable journal, Molecular Biology and Evolution, it's a top journal in biochemistry and molecular biology. It's moving to fully open access in 2021. So again, that's called Molecular Biology and Evolution. And the next slide. In our Oxford Research Encyclopedias, you may recognize these as our continuously updated encyclopedias in 25 disciplines that give you everything you need to know, like an overview of the subject and an easy to understand in half an hour of reading or less. And it's content that you can trust, that is accurate, unbiased, and up to date. We're launching 3 new subjects that are available by subscription and perpetual access, including business and management, economics and finance, and neuroscience. And the editor-in-chief of the new business and management subject collection is Dr. Michael A. Hitt with Texas A&M University. And I think he summed it up really well when he said, in sum, this project is global, flexible, and future-oriented. And then the next slide. And we do realize that this is such a stressful time of great uncertainty when institutions have had to suddenly shift to online learning and libraries have had to revisit acquisition priorities. As institutions around the world make this challenging shift to online, OUP is here to work with you to provide digital access to our scholarly content. If your library is looking to provide online access to your library's print titles, we're happy to support you with a brand new Clear Yourselves pricing program. We will provide deeply discounted pricing equivalent to 75% off the digital list price of titles that your library owns in print. And you can do this in any of these resources, including Oxford Scholarship Online, University Press Scholarship Online, Oxford Handbooks Online, and Oxford Scholarly Editions Online. It will allow you to extend access to titles you own in print to online and remote users. You can also make backlist titles available to your users at notable savings. And then my final slide. I really appreciate everyone's attention today. Thank you again to NASIG for moving forward with this conference. I'm happy to answer any questions about anything that I've gone over or anything that's OUP related, or if you'd like to contact your local sales rep, you can do that as well. But thank you again for your attention, and thank you, Megan, for pitch hitting for me.
Thanks, Jennifer. All right, so next up we have Kristin from Duke University Press.
All right. And let's get started, assuming I can make the screen share work.
I struggled yesterday. You're good. We can see it.
Excellent. All I ever wanted. Okay. So, like I said, I'm Kristin Twardowski from Duke University Press. I'm the library sales manager for the US and Canada, and I am so excited to get the chance to share some of our most thrilling updates with you all today. So there's a lot to cover, and I'm just going to dive right in. For those of you who don't know who we are, Duke University Press publishes primarily in the humanities, social sciences, and mathematics. We produce about 130 books per year, as well as 60 journals, and we're lucky enough to partner with 2 math platforms, Project Euclid, which blossomed out of a partnership between Cornell University and Duke University Press, and MSP, Mathematical Science Publishers, which has its offices based at University of California, Berkeley. And it's really important to us and part of our missions to support universities and their libraries in all ways possible. So because of that, I'm excited to announce that for 2021, we are going to be freezing our prices. It would be irresponsible of us and against what we stand for if we increased prices for our journals and annual e-collections when we know folks are facing 10 to 25% budget cuts. And those budget cuts are something we are intimately acquainted with. So this is going to affect single journal titles as well as our eDuke Books collection, eDuke Journals, Euclid Prime, and MSP on Euclid. To continue our support of libraries and course instructors, this year we also started creating course syllabi. And these are thematic syllabi that highlight some of the most groundbreaking and relevant scholarship in topics that make sense for today. So the ones you see on your screen highlight things like political protests, racial justice, the carceral state, but the entire syllabi series also includes things like environmental humanities, healthcare, as well as queer theory. And I definitely encourage you to explore those since even though not all of the content in the syllabi is open access, all of the journal articles and issues listed in them are open until September 30th, because we know with everything going on, people need to have access to this material. I'm also excited to announce that for 2021, we will have 2 open access journals joining us. The first of these that you see on your screen is Liquid Blackness, Journal of Aesthetics and Black Studies. Now, Liquid Blackness has existed in an open access form for a number of years now, but they were kind enough to join us because they were interested in deepening their outreach as well as creating a more standard publishing schedule. So Liquid Blackness really covers the Black experience, media, art, and film from all angles. And you can see one of my favorite covers that they've published in the past for Liquid Blackness, Black Ontology, and the Love of Blackness. It's a really beautiful and in-depth journal, and I'm so thrilled that we'll be bringing it to more people in the world. The second open access journal that will be joining us is Sungkyung Journal of East Asian Studies, which is produced out of Sungkyunkwan University and looks at all of East Asian studies pre-1945. So there's a ton of wonderful scholarship there as well. And once everything is live, you can look forward to emails announcing that. Now for this year, we've had 2 new ebook subject collections joining our already robust list that includes things like art and art history, Asian studies, gender studies, etc. And our 2 newbies are African American, African and Black Diaspora Studies, which is a collection that contains around 350 ebooks that explore the global experience in really groundbreaking interdisciplinary studies, as well as Anthropology, which contains around 550 titles. For those of you who are already acquainted with Duke University Press, you may know that anthropology is one of our specialties. We take a very interdisciplinary approach to it and look not just at traditional field work and ethnography, but also at ways that we can challenge the way the field has been approached in the past. So along with that, this is a sneak peek. Very, very soon, within the next week or 2, our single ebooks will be available through Gobi. Now, these are going to be our single ebooks that we already sell on our platform, which if you buy them directly for us, you can get a volume-based discount. But for the first time, those single book titles are also going to be available through Gobi. I know that makes ordering so much easier. So you should see that email out in a week or 2, assuming everything goes to plan, fingers crossed. And with that, the last thing I wanted to mention is we do have ongoing end of fiscal year promotional discounts available. This is 20% off our ebook subject collections, as well as archives for things like the archive for the Duke Mathematical Journal, as well as the eDuke Books archive. So if you have questions about those promotional discounts or anything else I've mentioned here today, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always available at the email on the screen. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Kristin. All right, next up, we have Lorna Vasica from American Institute of Physics.
Hello. I am going to see if I can share my screen and if it will behave with me today. So,
question of the day.
I know. So one moment. Let's see if we can get this rolling. and it may not. So I lost my Zoom here, so let me see if I can get this, and I'm just going to share, and we'll see what happens. And I am going to do this. So,
All right, looks good.
and I'm thinking we can see it. So good afternoon. My name is Lorna Vasek, and I'm a sales manager at AIP Publishing. And what I wanted to, I'm sorry?
You've got it set up on the control panel. I don't know if you wanted to try and set it up on the presentation panel.
Let's see.
And yeah,
Is
you
that
can.
better?
Yeah, that looks good.
Perfect. Okay. So it switched on me. So again, my name is Lorna Vasek, and I'm a sales manager at AIP Publishing. And what I just wanted to present for the next 5 minutes was just what's on the horizon at AIP Publishing. We're introducing our first collection of 40 books, and it's now available for purchase. We're going to start publishing late 2020, so August 2020, and we're going to be publishing through December 2021. It will be hosted on citation.org alongside our journals. They'll be DRM free, and we'll have multiple formats, which is just HTML, EPUB, and we'll have a print option that's available for those who want to publish a print. We'll have 4 types of books. We'll have principles, which is just a comprehensive overview of a topic for people that are entering, for new entrants that want to find out information about a topic. And for people that already know about that topic, it will just be recent developments in it. Our second type of book is just method, and it's just really what, where, why. It's tutorial information for you. And for our third type of book, we'll have professionals, and it's just for continuing educators and professionals in the field. And then our last type of book that we're going to have is perspectives, and that's just a deep dive, just analysis of a topic. So if you have someone that started out with the introductory material of Discover, you know, of our principles, then we can go into our last semester where we can find out the in-depth knowledge of it. And in our next slide, we're just looking at the different subject areas that we're going to cover: our chemical physics, energy, material science, information display. And in 2014, AIP Publishing launched Applied Physics Reviews, and it was a review journal that spoke about applied physics and with an impact factor of 12.75. So in 2020, we are launching 2 new review journals, which is Chemical Physics Reviews and Biophysics Reviews. And Chemical Physics Reviews, as the name said, is going to have research that's covering chemical physics, and biophysics is just a crossroad of biological and physical sciences. But the main thing that I'd like you to pay attention to is the URLs at the bottom. And we're going to be publishing articles in the last quarter of 2020, and those articles are going to be free to read. So I want you to get those URLs and sign up for an alert so you can read those articles at no cost at all in 2020. Our next product that I just wanted to highlight is our AIP Digital Archives, a collection of 20 journals that will allow for perpetual access to all the content, and it's from 1930 through 1998. And I always encourage customers to invest in the digital archives. It will provide subscription savings, and you will have perpetual access to content that never gets old. And this, I think, if anything else, is my favorite slide that we put together. And I just want somebody to push that with a show or raise of hands, anybody that wants to reset 2020. I think we started out 2020 in March, and everything just changed and everything just flipped. And while I like this slide is because we see teamwork here, we see us working together. And I think for 2021, our renewal year and our renewal season that's coming up, I want to encourage us all to work together and to contact your sales manager and just talk to your sales manager at AIP Publishing and tell them what you're going through, because I think the only way we can get through 2020 and start 2021 on the right foot is us working together. So we have our link with our sales managers. Please touch base with us, speak to us about subscription options that you need, and just share with us what your library is going through. And my last slide that I have, I wanted to just say thank you to NASIC for allowing us to present and allowing us to sponsor. And again, on the right side of our screen, where I'm just reiterating the resources that we have. And we also have free COVID-19 articles for you to view. And my last comment that I'll make is contact your sales manager. I cover everything west of the Mississippi in Canada. We have a Northeast sales manager. We have sales manager for the Latin American territory. Reach out to us and talk to us. And it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks, Lorna. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Kristina Jutzi from Bloomsbury.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm just getting my screen up and running. Hoping you guys can see the slide view. Does that look okay?
Looks perfect.
Excellent. All right, I will go ahead and get started. Thank you to Megan and the NASIG team for allowing us to present here today. As Megan mentioned, my name is Kristina Jutzi, and I'm a sales rep and account manager with Bloomsbury Digital Resources. Today, we're relatively new on the block, so I'm just going to do a high-level overview and highlight a few recent developments for you. In case you're not familiar, Bloomsbury began as a trade publisher in the 1980s. The academic division was created in 2008, and then in 2017, they launched Bloomsbury Digital Resources. And our focus as a division has been to provide essential and cutting-edge scholarly content for the arts, humanities, and social sciences in high-quality and easy-to-use digital environments. There are two ways that we provide content. The first is through our proprietary ebook platform called Bloomsbury Collections. We now have over 10,000 titles available on the platform and hope to add another 3,000 in the next year. And these are both front and back lists that we'll be adding and that are available from Bloomsbury's various imprints, including T&T Clark, Methuen Drama, Hart Publishing, Continuum, IB Taurus, and more. All titles on the platform are DRM free and unlimited concurrent user access, and they are all XML based, so that content is entirely cross-searchable, which we really believe is ideal for research and study. You can purchase ebooks as part of discrete subject collections on a title-by-title basis or through evidence-based acquisition. And I did just want to highlight that we recently updated our EBA model to make it even more cost-effective for libraries. We're very aware many schools are attempting to offer more digital options as quickly as possible for remote learning and study and possible ongoing online classes. So we're really hoping this will provide an option to help you expand your digital catalog quickly. And we do offer print ownership discounts. Content can be purchased through us directly, through your consortia, or through Gobi, and just recently now also through Oasis. The second way we provide content is through subject-specific platforms. These are digital hubs for research and learning that we are constantly expanding with material from Bloomsbury's existing publishing program, with entirely original material commissioned specifically for the platforms, and with material provided from our partners who are publishers like Faber and Faber, Human Kinetics, the British Film Institute, and more. And I just wanted to highlight the bottom three: Human Kinetics Library, Theology and Religion Online, and Bloomsbury Medieval Studies have just launched this last year. Now, depending on the specific resource, you'll find different types of content on the hub, but in general, there's a mix of reference works, monographs, exclusive articles, exhibitions and image collections, streaming video and audio, and teaching resources like lesson plans and bibliographies. Additionally, you'll find on the resources, we've built out subject-specific content types. And for example, you can see From Bloomsbury Popular Music, we have over 500 individual artist pages that provide basic information, biographies, images, and related content to help you explore more across the platform. And then you can also see on Bloomsbury Architecture Library, you'll find an ever expanding catalog of what we call key buildings. We now have over 700 on the site. And on these pages, we integrate images like aerials, interiors, floor plans, and drawings, along with descriptions and subject tags and more links to related content to help you explore further across the site. I also highly recommend for anyone who is interested or covers any of these topics or areas to take a look at the featured content we have highlighted on every single one of these digital hubs. You can see the image on the front page and then click through to what we've basically done is pull together related content in front of the paywall on relevant topics on the platform. And they really kind of help you get a sense and interact with the content and then guide you through this specific topic and how you might approach it, both you as librarians and then also to educators as well. And finally, I wanted to highlight one of our flagship products. Drama Online is probably our most popular resource. It integrates play text and scholarly works alongside audio and streaming video. And we really feel that it offers kind of a one-stop shop for English and literature courses, as well as theater programs. Content is available for purchase or subscription in discrete subject modules. And these really allow institutions to pick and choose what works best for them. On the platform, we offer exclusive access to the text by Arden Shakespeare and Methuen Drama, as well as content by such partners as Nick Hearn Books, Playwrights Canada Press, and Faber and Faber. Additionally, you'll find the streaming video from Globe on Screen, and the Classic Spring Theatre Company is exclusive to Drama Online. And most recently, we launched a collection from the National Theatre with 30 new plays, which is available for the first time to academic institutions. And finally, this fall, we hope to begin integrating contents from Oberon Books, a performing arts publisher based in London, who is the newest addition to Bloomsbury's family. Finally, you can see my contact information on the screen. You are welcome to reach out at any time. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have or point you in the right direction for your sales rep if you're not sure. And thank you again to the NASIG team for putting this together today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Christina. All right, so next up we have Dan and Rita from Springer Nature.
Hi, everybody. Dan's going to share the screen. This is Rita Sinha from Springer Nature with my colleague, Dan Asher.
Hello, can everyone see my screen?
Not yet.
It says it's sharing. One second. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Success.
We can just jump to the next one, Dan. Dan's going to do the driving here. So we're going to provide a quick overview of open access at Springer Nature. We'll touch briefly on journals and then focus on open access ebooks. Some quick facts: we have nearly 600 open access journals and over 30 million chapter downloads from our open access ebooks. Next slide. We also offer some open access research tools. Two that I'll highlight. In Review is a platform providing transparency to the peer review process for our authors. Protocol Exchange is a repository for scientists to share research protocols and collaborate with others. Next. Some benefits to open access, among them increased visibility, collaboration among scientists and researchers, and immediate online access to research. Next. These are our open access journal offerings in the Nature Research Group. The journals Scientific Reports and Nature Communications are two of our most heavily used open access nature journals. Biomed Central is celebrating its 20th year, and Palgrave journals focus on humanities and the social sciences. Dan's going to take over at this point.
Thanks, Rita. More recently, open access book publishing has really taken off at Springer Nature, especially in the last few years. Authors are more willing to publish as open access, as well as funders having more interest in funding these projects. In the last couple years, a number of universities have also opened up open access publishing funds for both books and journals. Springer Nature open access books are more relevant now than ever. They can be used as open educational resources to assist with affordability efforts, especially since all books on the Springer-like platform are DRM free. They are also very useful now with the huge increase in distance learning. I should mention that there are some textbooks as a part of our open access offerings, with some of these having very high usage in North America. As you can see in the chart, OA book publishing at Springer Nature really ramped up starting in 2016. We are proud to announce that the 1000th open access book was actually just published at the end of May. We've already published 186 open access books as of this week for the year, showing a continued commitment to increasing the offerings. Last year, Springer Nature published a white paper examining scholarly open access books and usage trends. This study showed that by year 2 of publication, open access books received a lot more citations than their closed counterparts. Downloads are also significantly higher. As we can see here, in the first year of publishing, OA books have a ton more downloads than their closed counterparts. We have created a number of different white papers to show the impact of open access in regards to both books and journals. The numbers overall are showing a very nice story. Compared to non-open access, open access books receive about 50% more citations, 7 times more downloads, and a ton more altmetric and social media mentions. While the numbers aren't quite as high as their counterpart, the journal numbers are still very strong. For both books and journals, we offer free MARC records through our metadata downloader site with a clickable link here in the PowerPoint. There are also open access targets available for both categories in all the major discovery services. So they're very easy to find and select and to become discoverable within your library. And this is big for us because discovery is a major tenet at Springer Nature, with our motto even being advancing discovery. And back to Rita.
So we just wanted to mention our COVID-19 landing page for librarians. I would encourage people to visit it for resources that are available at this point. Next. And this is our librarians space at springernature.com. So you can see that there's a lot of information there. And we always encourage librarians to bookmark this page. Next. And thank you, NASIG, for providing us with this opportunity. And you have our contact information if anybody wants to follow up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you all so much to Dan and Rita. Our final sponsor speaker today is Kristin Wilson from Index Data.
Thanks, Megan. Hi, everyone. I'm Kristin Wilson. I'm a project manager at Index Data, and I'm going to be talking a little bit today about Folio ERM and doing a short live demo for you. Before I jump in, for those of you who might not be familiar with Index Data, we are a small software development company. We specialize primarily in open source software, and for the last several years, we've been one of the main partners in the Folio project to develop an open source integrated library system. And we are also beginning to offer support and services around Folio. And so I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of my presentation. But thinking about Folio, I thought that the NASIG audience might be particularly interested in hearing a little bit about the ERM components of the Folio system. So I'm going to switch over here to a demo or a test system for Folio where I can show you some of what we've done. And what I think is unique about Folio and our approach to ERM is that Folio uses an app-based approach to an interlibrary system. So if you see here along the top, we've got lots of different apps that represent the different functions that you would need to run your library. And you can use any or all of these. And so what's great about that is it means you can use ERM as an integrated component of a full-featured ILS, but you could also use just the ERM apps on their own. So there's a lot of flexibility. So I'll be specifically showing you a few of the apps that support ERM. And I'm starting out here in the Agreements app, and this is really the hub of e-resources management within Folio. And the idea here is that you can create any number of agreement records, and we're using the term agreement really generically, not even to mean a license agreement specifically, but kind of a purchasing agreement. And the idea is that libraries can create an agreement for any type of purchase that they might make. So it can be, you know, a big deal, a package, a bundle, a combo, a membership. You know, there's so many ways that electronic resources are sold. So we really wanted to have that flexibility. So we're looking at here an agreement record. This is just a test record I've created for Elsevier Science Direct journals. And so this is meant to be an agreement that's kind of like a big deal type purchase. And so you can see here along the top, we've got a little bit of administrative metadata about, you know, dates, vendor status, that type of thing, description, cancellation deadline. So just kind of all the details of what this agreement covers in terms of the time period and that type of thing. But what really makes the agreement record what it is the agreement lines, because this is where you can define what is in the agreement. So you can see here, I've set this one up, and this is just a sample with a small number of lines, but we've got one package and several journals. And this is to show that an agreement can be made up of any combination of resource types. So it can be all journals, journals and ebooks, ebook packages. And the source of these journals and packages and other e-resources, in this example, and I'm going to click on one of these titles to show you this, it actually comes from another app in the system that's called eHoldings. And right now, this app is providing us with a connection into EBSCO's knowledge base. So this is their real knowledge base that is used to support their link resolver and EDS and a lot of their other services. And they have built a connector into Folio. So you can actually see that metadata here in Folio and interact with it and make changes that will be perpetuated across their entire ecosystem. And if I scroll down here, you can see we've got an agreement section, and this is where I can add this resource to an agreement or create a new agreement with this resource as part of it. And so right now we have been working on testing this concept with EBSCO and their knowledge base, as well as with GoKB, the global open knowledge base. But we're hopeful that we'll be able to add more knowledge bases into the project in the coming months and years to be able to give you kind of that single point of management for e-resources within the ILS. And so if I flip back to this agreement record, I'm just going to quickly open up the agreement lines again. And I have made this bigger so you can read it. So I need to scroll to the side a little bit. But you can see here, we also have connections between these agreement lines and PO lines. So if I were to click on one of these PO line links, I'm taken into another app within Folio, which is the Orders app. And so now I'm just looking at the purchase order line for this resource so I can find out, you know, all these details about how much money is encumbered and what fund it's on and when the order was placed and everything that I might need to know. And I think that's really kind of a holy grail for ERM, is being able to create that connection between the e-resources in your knowledge base, the agreements, the way that your library purchases them, and then the money that you pay for them. And that purchase order piece, as nice as it is optional, because not everyone may be implementing the full suite of apps. And then the last thing that I'll just quickly show on the agreement record is that we also have connections here to licenses. And these are actually your formal license agreements. So if I click on this one, it's going to take me into the licenses app. And I don't have time to show a lot about this app, but it's kind of a typical license app where you can create a surrogate record for each license. And you can map your license terms and have all those details. And each license can relate to one or more agreements. And there's a lot more functionality here on the agreement record I don't have time to show, but I just kind of wanted to highlight the way that we're building all these connections throughout the system. And to wrap up, I'll just quickly show this slide listing our services from index data. We offer implementation services, support, SaaS services, so hosting of Folio in the cloud. And we're also just really open to conversations with people about how you might implement things uniquely and what may be possible for you and your library. So please do feel free to get in touch with me or visit our website at indexdata.com for more info. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Kristin. Thanks to all of our sponsor speakers today. Y'all were awesome staying within the time frame that we gave you, so we really appreciate that. We don't have any questions that have come through during the session, but if anyone has any questions, I'll kind of give a minute for those to roll in. I can share my screen. Slide deck for now. Any questions? Okay. All right. I'm not seeing any come in. So
Megan, there's a hand up. I'm not sure if Greg wants to ask a question.
Okay. All right. Greg, you had your hand raised. I think I've given you. Are you able to add a question to the Q&A or the chat? I know that at one point someone had asked, you know, for people to raise their hands if they were in solidarity with something that they were saying. So maybe that's from that part of the presentation. Oh, here's a question for Kristin. Does the Folio ERM help with analyzing counter stats?
Yes, actually, I didn't get a chance to cover that, but there's also an e-usage module within Folio that lets you harvest counter statistics using Sushi and pull those into Folio as well. And at the moment, you can actually link up a particular provider with an agreement for statistics. So again, we're kind of working on making those connections between all the different points of e-resources management. And one of the things I think is particularly exciting about Folio is that I think we're starting down to see the potential of being able to connect, you know, purchase order information with cost, and then the usage statistics, and starting to have the connections that will enable some really nice reporting capabilities within Folio, because all of that information is kind of linked through the central hub of the agreement record.
Great, thank you. All right. If we don't have any more questions, we can go ahead and wrap up the session a little bit early to give folks some extra time for their tea or coffee breaks, or if you're on the West Coast, a little bit of time to get your lunch before our next session. It's due to start in about 15 minutes. We're going to come back with a session on Counter 5 in about 15 minutes. So thank you again to all of our sponsors for helping us make the conference freely available. We really do appreciate it. And thanks to everyone who attended this session.